Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now in this video, up here on the board, we have our topic for today. And here it is, the truth about the mind. It directs the body. The mind directs the body. Now this is in response to a comment I had, and probably two or three of them. Can you explain more about the body as a learning device of the mind? I didn't grasp it entirely. So we're going to start off by asking a question. When did quantum physics start? When did quantum physics start? Well, about 125 years ago, Max Planck, working with hot body radiation, came up with a term in the process and is considered the father of quantum mechanics 125 years ago. So when did it start? When did quantum physics start? Now, classic physics has brought us a great deal of improvements, but classic physics was developed without any information or knowledge of the quantum world. So, when did the quantum world start? Oh, that's an interesting question. There was never a time when the quantum world was not here. There was never a time when the quantum world was not here. Now, even though classical physics has been very dynamic and supportive and helpful, it had no idea 150 years before that the quantum world was over there. So now we have our modern life. The modern world is completely controlled by quantum physics. From your cell phone that you carry around, to space travel, to anything you can think of in the modern world. Every car has up to, and maybe more, 120 microprocessors, which are quantum driven, to run your car now. That's why it's so nice. So we have always had quantum physics. The quantum world has always been here. The classical world is the way it is because of the quantum world is the way it is. They are not separate. They're not two different things. But we tend to think they are. We say, oh, the classic world, Newtonian physics and all of that is more important because it's so descriptive of what we can do, and it's predictable and all kinds of stuff like that. In quantum, in classical physics, when you begin to think about the standard model for subatomic particles. Why are we studying the subatomic particles? Well, to find out where material comes from. And here's the thing. We've gone a long ways in understanding the standard model for subatomic particles. And the more we go, and the more we go, and you watch closely, it'll turn quantum just like that. Why? The quantum world was here first. How does that come? Consciousness is the one common, the one mind. It is a quantum mind. And from the quantum mind comes subatomic particles. Everything starts very small and then gets bigger and bigger and more complicated because of the very small, not because of the very large. So the quantum world was first, and then the classical world followed along. And since we were not aware of the quantum world, we think everything had to be classic first and matter. And out of matter, we try to mesmerize quantum. We try to make believe that quantum is an emergent property of what came second. Can't be. The quantum world, from the one mind of consciousness, was first. Out of that, subatomic particles. If you look closely now, the quantum field theory is the most accurate predictor in all of science that ever has been up till now. Quantum field theory, although it's not complete, quantum field theory is the most accurate. What an interesting idea. Now, philosophy and other approaches to understanding this world that we're in and consciousness is through the Hermetic principles. And the first principle is that of mentalism. And here's what the first principle states. The first principle of the Hermetic 7 principles of self-mastery is that of mentalism. The mind, I said that wrong. The all is mind. The universe is mental, meaning the universe itself at an underlying and fundamental level is mental. That all phenomena of life, matter, and energy of the material universe are thoughts in the infinite and universal living mind. And that is consciousness. Now, let's look, how does consciousness understand itself? Well, that takes a little bit of background. So let us go back and think about the phrase, it is impossible to know a system completely from within the system. Now, this was a statement by, I'll find his name pretty soon here, Kurt Gödel. Oh, I got it written down there. Kurt Gödel. That was his contribution. You can't know a system. You can't know yourself until you get some space so that you can look. It has something to do with the observer effect, how the observer affects what is observed. So now, let us look at the little model. I got a little model at the bottom, and it is this. Metaphorically, looking from a distance, the mountain is seen. Now see, you're down in the diagram, the little spiky thing is supposed to represent a model. And this guy over here, way over here, some distance from it, is looking at the model, is looking at the mountain. And he can see the mountain. Now here's the thing. If you're on the mountain, if you're climbing the mountain's gone. All you see is just a little bit. Like this. Let me blow this up. Now, you see that guy sitting there? If that's all you saw was that picture, would you know you're on a mountain? Probably not. You don't know it when you're in it. You only know it when you have some distance to look out, to look back at it, and then you see it. Now there's a problem there, and it's this. And we're going to look at it in just a minute from now. And this is our model we're using for today. And if we look up at it, we see the one mind, consciousness, is infinite. It's infinite. What is that? Why is that important? Where's it going to go to see itself? Where's it going to go because it's infinite? How can it move outside of infinity to know itself? Where does the distance come from? So that consciousness is aware of itself. A very interesting problem. And so many people have thought about this to support consciousness, and this is the model they've come up with. Consciousness has lost itself in the cosmos. Consciousness, which is everything, creates a cosmos so complicated that it gets lost in it. And from that state of being lost or separate from the infinite, not being able to recognize it, it is aware of itself. Now, how can it do that? Let us look at a model that we have already discussed on other videos. So let's open up the full screen of this stage. Now, what is this stage down here? It's the stage of Maya. It's the play that's going on. In this play is the cosmos. In this play is the egoic world. Who's in the egoic world? You are. And so am I. It's an illusion. It has a purpose. We always wonder, we say, I wonder what's my purpose in life? Why am I here? Why is there life in the first place? Well, let's see if we can give an answer to that. In this, consciousness is infinite. And in this relationship to this cosmos and the stage, this is a stage. I wanted to kind of get that idea. This is supposed to be curtains on the side, and then there's acting going on in the center, on the stage. And this is the play. And in that play, mind and body are entangled and interconnected. So mind is an extension of consciousness. And the body is associated with the play or the egoic world. So the mind-body is interconnected. It's a quantum state. They are entangled. So the body here operates in the egoic world. What kind of world is that? The world you're living in. You're in the illusion. You are the play. You are the actors in the play. And you're doing your part. You're doing your thing. Your body is experiencing this cosmos, this egoic world, this illusion. And we make all kinds of fusses about it, all kinds of things. And in this relationship between mind and body, we always wonder, what is that relationship? We've wondered for eons of time, what's the relationship between the mind and the body? Well, for a long time, we always thought, well, the mind is just emergence from the sophistication of the brain and the body and all that. 180 degrees wrong. It is the body that is the play. It is the mind as a puppeteer that is controlling the body and saying, oh, let's see what kind of experiences the body can have in many different forms. And so that's what this life here is. You notice there's a lot of them. How many? Well, on this planet, there are over 8 billion people. So that's a lot of mind-body entanglement. The mind, there's only one mind. When you are an extension of the one mind, which is infinite, when you are an extension of the infinite mind, who are you? Well, I've asked that question in different ways for a long time. Infinity cannot be divided, and there is no holes in it. It is everywhere. So if you are an extension of that infinity, who are you? Well, you might say, well, I'm an aspect of infinity. Look closely, pilgrim. You can't divide infinity. There is not a piece of infinity. There is only infinity. So who are you? Are you lost in this illusion? Do you move through your life thinking that you are separate? Now here, all of these bodies in the illusion are all separate. All separate. You see everything separate. You see rocks separate, you see buses separate, you see cars separate, you see separate moons in the universe, separate suns in the universe. It's a construction. It is an illusion. It is consciousness trying to understand itself. So in the egoic world, the mind-body connection, which is a quantum connection, the body operates the way it does. And all you have to do is look out into your illusion and see all the different bodies separate. It's all one. A lot of people say, well, how do you get out of the illusion? When you recognize everything is one. There is no separate you. There is no separate me. Everything is one. Now, you see, we think that a lot of times, let me go back to this here, when we are in extensions of consciousness or the mind, we say, oh, that's the soul. And so in other ways of looking at it, the mind here is called Atman, or the soul. And consciousness is called the big soul, or Brahman. We call it the big soul. And all these are like little souls, but they're all one. There is no little souls. You can't separate them into separate things. It's all one. Your body is an illusion in the egoic world that everything is separate. And look what we do to our neighbors and our brothers and sisters. All the different things we do to prove that we're not them. And when you slip through the veil of the illusion, you know all is one. There is no separation. Even in the egoic world, scientifically, everything is interconnected and affects each other. Now, let us look at A Course in Miracles, because it has something profound to say about this, as it has many profound. Oh, I'm trying to hide my tea here. It's a Earl Grey tea. It's a black tea, and it's an interesting flavor. It's just the oil they put on in the tea, and when it heats up, it has a nice flavor. So, let us look at A Course in Miracles. I went through a lot of research in this. But the thing to remember still is that the cosmos, the consciousness, the one mind, like in all spiritual paths have the same thing. They all start out with one. It fragments into many. And then slowly coalesces back into the one, and then it starts over again. And that's what we're doing. We're part of that intake and outtake of consciousness. So what does the Course say? Here's what it says. The body is separate and therefore cannot be part of you. To be of one mind is meaningful. To be one body is meaningless. By the laws of the mind, then, the body is meaningless. The body is meaningless. It has a purpose. It has a function. And it is to support consciousness in its quest to understand itself. So it is a means to an end. The mind, direct connection with consciousness, an extension of the one mind. The body is in the illusion. It is created in the illusion. And when the mind retreats back into oneness, the body stays here. It's stardust. It's not going anywhere. It all stays here. It's meaningless in and of itself. It is the mind or the Atman that is important, that is on a venture through the body. The body is doing whatever it does, and the mind directs for what it wants to know. And the body responds because that's its function. Now, when you begin to appreciate that, then you can begin to recognize, by understanding who you are, you can make changes in what the body does. The body is not going to direct the mind. Why? That's not its function. Its function is to be an instrument for the mind. The mind is not separate from consciousness. Who are you? If you're not separate from consciousness, who are you? And who is your brother? Oh, there's much to talk about here in the illusion. Now, I put a lot in the description. I usually do. I don't mention it much, but I do. So give that a look. You may have some questions. If you have some questions or concerns, put them down below as a comment. I'll be glad to answer or give you some insight. We'll see. You can also like this channel and subscribe. All of that is helpful for the channel. So we look forward to seeing you next time. And where are we going to see you? Right here on the stage in the illusion. Bye now.